Hey Holden Racing Teams fans, here we are at the great Bathurst Motor Raceway, here for our track walk. So let's go for a bit of a walk around and see what's changed in the last 12 months and hopefully have a great weekend. Let's go. So here we are at turn 2, the site of a lot of controversy from last year's race. Obviously for Garth and I, it was the scene of my big crash here in practice 4 on the Saturday morning. Arrived here at 240 kilometres an hour, no brakes, bounced off Lounsey, into the wall, up on its side, and unfortunately for us, it was the weekend done. Once obviously into the race, this is where the track was really starting to break up, and this is where they actually had to stop the race so they could try and do a bit of patchwork to get things back underway. So it's a really important corner. It's where the mountain really does start to climb. It's all about maintaining mid-corner speed. There's a lot of camber on this corner, so you can carry a lot of speed in. This year in particular, a different diff ratio. There's even talk that we might end up using second gear here instead of third. So here at the cutting, it's not usually a traditional overtaking place, but like we saw last year, there was a few good overtakings towards the very end of the race. But this really determines your speed across the mountain, because the run out of here, it's really steep, and to get good speed, good drive out of here, really it's all about carrying speed then across the top of the mountain, and to be able to do that, it all starts here. So here we are at Skyline, named after the legend Peter Brock himself. This is where the roller coaster ride really starts to get interesting. You've been carrying speed all across the top of the mountain, and now it's the run down the hill. It's about sort of carrying as much speed as you can, getting a good run down to the Dipper, down to Forest Elbow, and then on to Conrod. So here we are at Forest Elbow. This is probably one of the most iconic corners of the entire circuit, because not only does it set yourself up for the big run down Conrod here, but there's been so many sort of pivotal moments in the great race history here. Obviously Dick Johnson clipping the wall on the exit in the Hardy's Heroes back in the 80s, and even in last year's race, the race for the lead was determined here on the final lap of the race. But this year, it's all of talk about Conrod. This new diff ratio, the potential to maybe reach 300 kilometres an hour is the real talking point. I don't know if we're going to see 300 kilometres an hour, but it's certainly going to start with a good run through this corner. So here we are at the Chase. For V8 supercars, this is the scene of our highest speed of any circuit that we go to in the country. Again, the talk is this year, will we crack to 300 kilometres an hour? But more than anything, from a race driver's perspective, this is probably one of the best overtaking places of any part of this circuit. You're flat through the Chase here, through that first kink in the right-hander, and then it's a really big hard stop down here into the bottom part of the Chase, back to third gear, and then try and flow the car through. You'll see a lot of big manoeuvres under brakes here, a few sort of contacts and everything. You generally see a few cars end up out wide on the exit, sort of in the latter stages of the race, but it's a real great feature of this circuit, and as I said, one of the best overtaking places. So the run from the Chase down to the final corner is an imperative one to obviously finish the lap. Then up here and onto pit straight. The interesting thing is going to be this year is what lap times are going to be like. Last year we saw the fastest ever V8 supercar lap here around the mountain. There's talk that this year the cars are going to go even quicker. So it's going to be an interesting week, hopefully for both Garth, myself and everyone at Holden Racing Team. Not only will we start from the front row on Sunday morning, but obviously finish P1 come Sunday afternoon. Thanks for coming for the track walk, guys. Stay safe and we'll see you Sunday afternoon.